guys, this is the official SmartAlgo course. In this course, we'll be going over how the buy and sell signals work, and we'll be breaking down all the other features that SmartAlgo provides. Now, this indicator is built to help you succeed in the markets, but here's a quick disclaimer. SmartAlgo is not a get-rich-quick method. You're not going to be making $100,000 overnight on your first day using the algo. It needs time and practice, and then you'll be able to make consistent profits. So some of you might be thinking, oh, I'll just sell and buy, sell and buy, sell and buy. Well, it's not necessarily that simple. There are strategies and steps to follow, which is why we're making this course today. So now that we got that out the way, let's get on with the course.
So as you can see, guys, I am on tradingview.com. The reason why we use TradingView is because TradingView overall just has the most features, and it is one of the most known platforms to trade on. So once you go on tradingview.com, you're going to make an account and press on any chart. This could be stocks, forex, crypto, gold, futures, whatever, you name it. Next, you're going to tap on indicators. And then once you tap on indicators, you'll have invite only. If you don't have invite only, that means you didn't sign up or you just didn't give us the right username. So once you see the SmartAlgo, you're going to press on it and it will activate the buy and sell signals. So you got to keep in mind that the buy and sell signals are confirmation. So you can't base your trade only off one signal. That's why we offer a whole bunch of other confirmations to solidify your trade. Now later on in the video, after we go over every feature that SmartAlgo offers, we'll be going over strategies to help maximize profits.
So before we get started, quickly, I just want to point out something. Once you make your account on TradingView and you hop on your chart for the first time, I'm pretty sure it's going to look like this. So if it looks like this for you, all you're going to do is press this button right here next to the indicators and the time frame. And you're going to go down and press Heiken Ashi. Now these are the most accurate candles. Next, I would just right click, go color theme, and I would change it to dark mode because light mode is really bright on the eyes and I don't really like that. So that's just a preference thing, but for the candles, I highly recommend the Heiken Ashi candles. So if we look at the charts over here, we are on the Tesla stock. The market's currently closed, so we'll just hop on to Forex real quick. Just let it load up. Perfect. So we're on Forex right now. Once you're on the chart of your choice, you're going to go up here where it says SmartAlgo, and you're going to press on this little settings tab. Once you press on the settings, you'll be met with a long list of features and settings. These are super simple to understand. I'll be going through them all today. We also added a little information tab that gives you a brief description of what the specific feature does. Starting with Smart Logic, this just gives you more accurate signals depending on the strategy you're using. So let's say you're looking for a scalp trade. So if you're looking for a scalp trade, you'd be activating the Smart Scalper mode. We'll get into the scalping mode later. So for the sensitivity, there's no good or bad sensitivity. What we would generally recommend is between 20 and 25. So what the sensitivity does is it shoots out quicker signals the lower the sensitivity is. So for example, if I turn this down to 15 and let it load up real quick, as you can see, we're getting way more signals. So the whole point of sensitivity is overall more confirmation. Adjusting the sensitivity really just depends on how you want to trade. If you want to receive quicker signals, like for example, this is the 1 hour time frame, and between each one of these signals is about 24 hours. It really just depends how you want to trade. Like I said, I usually just put it around 20 or 25. And I feel like that does a really good job. But at the end of the day, like I said, no sensitivity is good or bad. So for the Smart Scalper sensitivity, it's basically the same concept, but just for the scalping mode, which we'll get into later. So we also have the option here to color your candles. I personally don't use this option as I just stick to the default green and red. So the whole purpose of changing the color of your candles is basically just to help with brain psychology. So for example, if you're in a long trade and the price starts going up and then all of a sudden the price starts drawing down a little bit, the candles will obviously turn red, and most people know the color red for like losing, danger, stuff like that. So most people might freak out and close their position early after seeing a lot of red candles. For example, if you change the color from red to blue, it could help avoiding freaking out and closing your position early. For the scalping coloring, it's the exact same concept, but just for the scalping mode, which we'll get into later. Now, the trend finder. Once you activate this trend finder, Smart Algo will give you precise trend lines based on the current trend. Same concept goes with here. The price was hitting higher lows, so the algo drew the line here. So this indicates that the trend is currently bullish because of the higher highs and the higher lows, and you can clearly see that the trend is going upwards. So now let's deactivate our trend lines and go on to the next feature. So the next feature in our list is the chart simplification. Now the chart simplification is very straightforward. Once you drop down this menu, you'll see 4 options. You'll see tiny, small, large, and off. So right now we have it on off. Basically what it does is it turns these signals into smaller signals without the words. As you can see, our buy and sell signals just turn into little signals without the words. Change it to small and large. Now this just gives the chart a cleaner look. I'm going to keep it on small for the rest of the video. So next guys, we're going to be going over our order blocks. So once you activate our order blocks right over here, you'll see that on our chart we get 2 color coded blocks, one above and one below. So each block has a red and green section, indicating bullish and bearish. So the block above closer to the price starts with a red section, indicating a potential sell zone. This is where you might expect sellers to step in. If the price pushes past this red section into the green, it could be a sign that buyers are starting to take control and pushing the price higher. Let me just show you something real quick. After hearing that and looking at the price right here, you might think, oh, well, the candle went past the red zone and into the green zone. So this must mean that the price will go up, right? Well, not necessarily. So as you can see, the wick went all the way up here. But for the candle to close down here, it had to go all the way back down, which indicates selling pressure, meaning that there's a high possibility of the price going down. That's why you get the second order block. So below the current price, the block starts with the green. The green basically recommends a buy zone where buyers could potentially support and lift the price right back up. But if the price falls all the way down to the red zone, it might indicate a stronger area of resistance. You should never rely only on order blocks. This is just another confirmation to use in your future strategy. They're pretty simple and straightforward. Like I said, we'll be using them in our future strategies. So just a few more settings for the order blocks. So right over here, you can add more order blocks. We put the maximum up to 3 just because we want to prevent lag on the TradingView platform. So once you put another order block, for example, as you can see, added another order block right over here. So the purpose of more order blocks on a chart is just to show extra spots where the price could turn around. And then last setting for the order blocks, you can just change the color. So for example, if you want the green to be a bit lighter, let's say, these are just aesthetics and all personal preference. So guys, the next feature we'll be looking at is the take profit and stop loss settings. Since risk and reward is one of the most important aspects of trading, let's just take a quick look at one of the pages on our ebook to help manage risk and reward. You can download this ebook for completely free on our website. Just go on our website, hit the ebook tab in our menu, type your email, and you'll get free access. I highly recommend everybody downloads that ebook. It's basically all free game. Now, taking a look at the risk and reward ratio page in our ebook, everything is about balancing how much you're willing to risk with the potential reward you're aiming for. So we typically suggest 3 key ratios to consider: 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and 1-to-3. A 1-to-1 ratio basically means you're setting your take profit and stop loss at the same distance from your entry point. It's a balanced approach where your potential gain is equal to your potential loss. You'll need a win rate of 50% to break even, but if you're looking to aim for higher returns, a 1-to-2 ratio doubles your potential reward compared to your risk. So here you only need a 33% win rate to stay profitable because your wins count for more. And for those who really want to maximize profits, a 1-to-3 ratio pushes the envelope further by tripling the reward distance compared to the risk. This high stakes method means you can break even with just a 25% win rate. Now remember, we always advise validating your trades with solid price action confirmation. Don't just jump the gun and exit your trades too early. Let your strategies play out, and remember to keep adjusting your stop loss to protect the profits as they grow. Alright guys, so I just moved to the US yen pair to demonstrate the take profit and stop loss levels. So basically the way it works is you have this drop down menu here, and we have the long and short option. So once you toggle on the long option, it's going to give you stop loss and take profits level for the most recent buy signal. As you can see here, we would take the buy signal, and then we would take profits right where the take profits area are. So as you can see here, it hit all 3 take profits, and it's going to be the same concept if you take a short trade. So if you switch this over from long to short, it's going to give you take profits and stop loss levels for the most recent sell signal. So as you can see here, this sell signal hit all 3 take profits as well. Now if you look over here after each take profit setting, there's going to be a sensitivity tab. So the sensitivity is basically just personal preference. So let's say, for example, you want closer take profit levels and stop loss. As you can see here, the stop loss got way closer and the take profit got closer as well. So it really just depends how much you want to risk on every trade. Same goes with these two. And the offset right over here is basically just controlling how far to the right you want your levels to be. For example, if we put this to 300 and let it load up, as you can see, it just moved it all the way to the right. So moving on to some of the other features that SmartAlgo provides. Over here we got the Smart Trend Sniper. So basically what the Smart Trend Sniper does is it helps us identify the direction that the market is likely to move in. So the Trend Sniper looks at recent price movements and uses that data to signal if the trend is going up or down. So to effectively use the Trend Sniper, you're going to try and pair it with other confirmations. So for example, we have this buy signal over here. And as you can see, right when the buy signal hit, the trend sniper changed from red to green, indicating a reversal in the trend. So in this case, this would be a confirmation to take that buy signal. Same thing goes with the sell signals. If you see a sell signal pop up and you see the red trend sniper, that is confirmation to take that sell. Next up, we got the support and resistance levels. Every trader must know what support and resistance is. So support and resistance levels basically act like a barrier, preventing the price from getting pushed into a certain direction. So the support level is where the price tends to find a floor as it's dropping. So as you can see right over here, it basically acts like a trampoline. So once the price hits it, the trampoline bounces the price right back up. So the reason this happens is because a bunch of buyers come in believing the asset is undervalued. So therefore, it's a pretty good time to buy. But if the price falls below the support level, then that might indicate that the price is going to drop low. And it's the same concept with resistance. So basically the resistance level is like a ceiling above which the price doesn't seem to break. Think of it as a roof that keeps pushing the price right back down. So as you can see right over here, it keeps touching that resistance level and pushes the price right back down. But just like the support level, if the price breaks through the resistance level, then it might mean that the price is going to shoot up. So as you can see here, the price broke through the resistance level, tested it again, and now it's most likely going to go bounce right back up. So this overall is a really good confirmation to use while trading. These levels could really help predict if the price is going to change direction.
So guys, the next feature we're going to be looking at is the Smart Cloud. So once you activate the Smart Cloud over here, it's going to insert these cloud looking things into your chart.
So the Smart Cloud is basically a trend following feature that shades the space between multiple moving averages to give us a quick visual on the market's mood. So for example, when the price is above the cloud and the cloud is green, it's a sign we're in a very bullish area and that the buyers are in control. So that could be a good time for entry. And the same thing goes with the cloud if it turns red. If the price is below the cloud and it's red, then that might be an indicator for bearish momentum. So the beauty about the Smart Cloud is its simplicity. It just turns complex data into a super easy to read feature. The Smart Cloud is going to be one of our main features in most of our strategies. It really helps identify the trends super easily, as you guys can see. So for example, in one of our strategies that we're going to be looking over, strategy is called trading with the trend. Let me just give you a quick example. So let's say the cloud is green. We're mainly going to be looking for buy signals because the overall trend is bullish. So any sell signals that we see while the cloud is green, we're going to be ignoring those. Now, I'm not saying the sell signals are going to be inaccurate if the cloud is green. Like as you can see right over here, you could have made a lot of money on the sell signal and the cloud was green. The main reason why we want to stick to a strategy is to protect ourselves as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, following two signals is going to be more confirmation than following one. So the cloud is one signal and the buy signal is another one. Now I hope this kind of gives you an idea about how we're going to interpret all these features together once we build our strategy with the algo.
So next up guys, we're going to be looking at the Smart Breaks feature. So once you activate the Smart Breaks feature, as you can see over here, it's going to give us precise signals in our chart that identify critical points where the price makes a significant leap up or down. So in this case, down. You're rarely going to see these signals pop up on your chart, but they're super important to take note of. So what BW means is bearish wick. And when you see the same signal but in green, that means bullish wick. So with smart break signals, we're essentially looking for those key breakout moments where the market shows its hand, revealing a trend that has the strength to continue. So in this case, it's going down. So you see we got this buy signal over here. With this buy signal, you could have easily still got a couple of pips. But overall in this case, when you see a bearish wick candle, you want to look for short trades until you see the trend reverse back up. So once again, guys, this is just another confirmation to solidify your strategy. So guys, I just want to say real quick before we hop on to the next feature, I don't know if you guys have been realizing, but I have been switching over from Forex to stocks to crypto, just so I can show you guys that Smart Algo works on every single type of chart. It doesn't matter what it is, you name it. And of course, if you guys have any questions regarding anything I covered today, please feel free to reach out. You can send us a message on any of our social medias. But for the quickest response, we definitely recommend joining our Discord. The link will be in the description of this video, or you can go on our website and scan the QR code with your phone, and that should give you a pop-up with a big green button saying join now. So once you press join now, you'll be in our Discord and you can feel free to ask any questions. So now guys, let's move on to the next feature. So guys, the next feature we'll be looking over is the Smart Prediction. So once you activate the Smart Prediction in Smart Algo, you'll have this line inserted into your chart over here. So our Smart Prediction feature is designed to forecast potential price movement. It analyzes past price patterns and current market conditions to project where the price might be headed next. So this isn't guessing at all. It's all about calculated probabilities based on historical data. So what this line is basically doing is it's giving us a heads up, almost like a weather forecast, but for price action. It takes into account the trends and patterns that have led to significant moves before and uses this to predict similar outcomes. But you have to remember that the predictions are based on probabilities and not certainties. It's a super powerful tool once you combine that with all the other features used in your strategy and good risk management. So guys, the next feature that Smart Algo provides is the trend panel. So if we go ahead and activate the trend panel, I'll move this menu right over here. As you can see, we get this little panel right over here. So the trend panel is basically just a quick look at whether the market is moving up or down in different time frames. So if you see a green panel in a specific time frame, that means that things are looking bullish. But if it's red, then that means things are looking bearish. Basically, think of it as like a traffic light system for traders. If you see a lot of green lights, it might be a good time to think about buying. But if you see a lot of red lights, it might be a good time to start selling. So how it works is it checks out the moving averages to figure out if we're seeing more of an uptrend or a downtrend. This is a super useful feature because it saves you a lot of time and it helps you see the bigger picture in a few seconds. But using this as a confirmation, guys, we also have to make sure that all the other confirmations are in check. So for example, the trend sniper, the smart cloud, the buy signal, of course, and everything else you plan to use to build your strategy. So some of you might think that, for example, if the 5-minute time frame is green, then the last candle on the chart would be green. That is not the case, guys. This panel just shows the overall trend in that time frame. So the 5-minute time frame is overall bullish, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the most recent candle is also green. You know what I mean? Overall, guys, super simple feature to use, and it's highly recommended to use in your strategy.
So next up, guys, we're going to be looking over the strength panel. So once you activate the strength panel, you'll get this little tiny panel on the bottom right corner of your chart. This feature is super simple, guys. So the strength panel is basically just like a quick mood check for the market. If it's showing green, it's kind of like a thumbs up saying that things are looking bullish. But on the flip side, if it's showing red, then it's like a warning sign, maybe suggesting that prices might drop and that some traders might start selling off or start playing it safe. So what do you do with this? Just think of it as like a heads up, basically. If you're already in a trade and you see the panel switch colors, it's like a little nudge for you to look over your trade. So for example, if I took this buy signal over here and it goes up, and then for example, let's say around here, it turns red, you just kind of want to look over your trade, make sure it's doing well. And for example, let's say you were planning on going in for a buy and you see the market strength turn into green, and that'll work as like an extra confirmation to take that trade. So just remember, this isn't the only thing you should be looking at, obviously. Always look at the other confirmations we looked over to make sure you're getting the best trade possible. This is as straightforward as this one gets. If it's red, you're looking down. If it's green, you're looking up. So guys, now we're going to be moving on to the volatility bands. So once you turn on the volatility bands, you'll put them onto true. Press OK. So these volatility bands are like lines that wrap around the price on your chart. They move along with the price, but at a certain distance from above and below. When the price moves up and down a lot very quickly, which shows the market is very active, or as we say, volatile, these bands will move apart from each other, creating more space in between them, like for example right over here. This is because they're responding to the increased activity and they're just adjusting to show that the price can swing higher or lower than usual. But on the other hand, when there isn't much action in the market and prices are moving slowly, the bands will pull together closer. This shows that the price is expected to move within a smaller range because there isn't a lot of trading activity pushing around it. Now, these bands aren't just randomly moving. They follow specific rules based on the setting you choose, which is length and multiplier, as you can see right over here. So the length is how many recent price points the bands will look at and decide how to move. A higher length means they're considering more price points, which usually makes the move smoother and less reactive to sudden changes because they're averaging out over more data. So for example, if we switch the length from 50 to let's say 100, you'll see that the lines will smooth themselves out. Now the multiplier determines how far away from the average price the bands should be. A higher multiplier means the bands will be further from the price, showing you a wider range from where the price might move. So when you're adjusting these two settings, you're essentially tuning how sensitive the bands are to the market's moves and how broadly they should forecast the price to move. So it's really up to you guys to play around with the sensitivities. You just really got to make sure to backtest and practice multiple times and just stick to that same strategy.
Alright guys, so this is the last feature that SmartAlgo provides for now. It's called the price movement setting. So this feature is pretty interesting because it's all about giving you a visual cue on how prices are moving in the market. Whether you're a professional trader or you're just starting out, understanding price movement is key to making important decisions. So once we toggle the price display on, this feature focuses on displaying the price difference between the high and the low point of each trading candle. This difference is simple, but it's extremely powerful to tell the volatility in the market on a specific time frame. So the larger the difference in the blue signal suggests more volatility, but smaller numbers indicate less volatility. So the way it calculates it is pretty straightforward. It just calculates the high of the candle and the low of the candle, and it simply calculates the difference and puts it right over here. This is what we would call the range. So the range gives you a quicker look at how the price have moved during that period. So in this case, it's 11.6 in the 1 hour time frame. Here's where it gets practical. So this is another great confirmation tool to use to gauge the market volatility. Generally, a higher volatility means more trading opportunities, but it can also mean higher risk. So overall, guys, this is an extremely useful tool to tell price movement. As you can see over here, we have a few other options. We got the label size right over here. If you want bigger labels, you can switch it to your liking. So for example, if you go to normal, as you can see here, the labels did get bigger, but it is more practical to use it on a smaller size so you're able to see the actual digits, just like that. So with the distance bar, guys, you're able to move how far you want the labels to be from the candles. So for example, if I put it up to 150, it'll then move the candles way lower. We'll see the labels right down there. And the final setting, guys, you're able to change the color of the label and the text.
So over here, guys, we're going to see on the smart logic, we have these two options, smart signals and smart scalper. So smart signals is going to be our regular signals that we'll be using most of the time. But once you get over to the lower time frames, we'll be switching over to smart scalper. So as you guys can see, guys, we're on the 1 minute time frame and the signals are not looking that good. But once we switch it over to smart scalper and let it load, so as you can see, guys, we'll only be getting the accurate signals now. So the smart scalper mode is specifically designed to identify short-term opportunities where holding positions for a long time is like waiting for paint to dry. It's not the goal here. So the way smart scalper mode works is it uses a combination of filtered price and volatility measurements to catch quick market movements. So while you're scalping, the key is to act fast and lock in profits before the markets can turn. So when you're on smart scalper mode and you see a buy or sell signal, you're not about to sit there and contemplate the meaning of your life. It's about making quick decisions and getting out quick. Now, I usually recommend to use scalper mode when you're a bit more intermediate. Scalper mode moves really quickly. You never know what could happen in the market. That's why you need to have good risk management. And like I always say, make sure all your confirmations are checking out.
So guys, another tool you'll be using while you're scalping is called the Smart Oscillator. So the Smart Oscillator does come included with SmartAlgo. So once you go over to invite only, you'll go ahead and activate the Smart Oscillator. And then it'll pop up right here on the bottom of your screen. So the oscillator is a visual representation of the momentum and price movement. So the green and the red columns identify buying pressure and selling pressure. So obviously green is buying momentum and red is selling momentum. And not only that, but the height of the columns matter as well. So the taller the column is, the stronger the buying or selling pressure is at that moment. So for example, we can see right over here, the price is moving upwards and you can see the columns are slowly getting bigger and bigger. And immediately once the price starts to shift to the bottom, you can see the columns starting to get smaller and smaller. Now once the columns turn red, that indicates that there's strong selling pressure. So as you can see, the columns are getting bigger, and then bang, right over here we get our sell signal. So as the price moves right after we get our sell signal, you can see the columns are getting bigger and bigger until we start seeing bullish momentum. The columns are getting smaller. Now as you can see, there's also a line overlapping these columns that switch from green to red. So this is a smoothed out version of the buying and selling momentum, giving you a clear view of the trend without all the noise. So here's exactly how you can use the oscillator while scalping. So you gotta identify the momentum shifts. So look for the points where the green overtakes the red, indicating a shift from selling to buying momentum, and vice versa. Use the smoothed out line as confirmation. If they cross, that could be a signal of a strong trend change. So basically think of the oscillator as the beat of the market's heart during surgery. It'll basically tell you like how strong the pulse is in the market. With practice, intuition, and discipline, the oscillator can be incredibly powerful while you're trading. Alright guys, so now that we've gone over all the features that SmartAlgo provides, we're going to be looking over a strategy that you can use to maximize your win rate. So the first step is obviously to activate SmartAlgo on your chart. As you can see, we have our buy and sell signals. So I'll be doing this example on this forex pair, the dollar yen, on the 4-hour time frame. So as you can see guys, we did get our buy signal right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in our settings over here, and you're going to follow all these settings. For the sensitivity, I recommend you play around with it and find exactly what looks best for you. I'm just going to stay at 10. The reason I'm staying at 10 guys is because we are on a higher time frame and I am looking for more signals. So for example, earlier in the video, my sensitivity was at 25 because I was on the 1-hour time frame and I was looking for less signals. And then down here, personal preference, I'm going to turn on the chart simplification to small. I'm going to turn on your take profit and stop loss setting. Turn on the smart trend sniper, the smart cloud, and then we'll go down over here and activate both panels. Now if you guys want to add more, you're more than welcome to. This is just what we're going to be using for this example. And as you can see guys, this is what we have on our chart. We're only going to be focusing on trades if all the confirmations add up with each other. So for example, we have a buy signal over here, our trend sniper is green, our market strength is green, the trend panel is all green, but the smart cloud is red, meaning that's one less confirmation to take that trade. So we're not going to be taking that trade, guys. Now, guys, even though we didn't take that trade and it did go up, we are just managing our risk over here, guys. This is the whole reason why we have a strategy. So let's check out this buy signal over here that we just received. In order to take a trade after you receive a buy signal, you need to wait for the candle to fully close and then take the trade. So once you receive a buy signal, wait for the candle to close and then take the trade on the next candle right when it pops up. The reason we do this, guys, is because once the candle is still moving, the buy signal could go away because the candle hasn't closed yet. You never know what could happen to the price. So always, guys, make sure you take the trade right after the candle closes and the buy signal is still there, and vice versa with selling. So guys, over here we have an example of a perfect trade that we could take. We have our buy signal over here. The trend sniper is green. The smart cloud just turned green. Our market strength is green, and the overall trend strength is green. So guys, this would be a perfect trade.
So the candle ended up fully closing and the buy signal is still there. So as we looked over earlier in the video, guys, when we were talking about risk to reward, you typically want to look for a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, but you can also reach for a 1-to-3. Alright guys, so we took this almost 1-to-1 trade over here, which is going to be around the level of our take profit 2 over here. Now remember guys, you can always change the sensitivity of these take profit levels. This is where we would be entering the trade. So if we press on play over here, so as you can see guys, if we push this over here, we did hit take profit 2 level with the 1-to-1 ratio. As you can see guys, right when we entered, there was a little bit of drawdown. With the 1-to-1 ratio, we did not hit our stop loss level. And then once it pushed up, we smashed our take profit level right over here. So guys, that marks the end of the SmartAlgo course. We're going to be releasing new features and new updates very, very soon. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow all our social medias to stay up to date. Once again, guys, if you guys have any questions, make sure to join the Discord to get the quickest response time possible. And guys, I highly recommend to rewatch the course multiple times to fully understand what SmartAlgo provides and how to use it properly. I hope you enjoyed the course, guys, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates.